What have you seen from their defense on tape that they do particularly well?
Yeah, extremely well-rounded, extremely well-coached. Got a lot of veteran guys there, and have done a good job at running their stuff for a long time now, and it'll be another big challenge for us.
How does a guy like Vita Vea affect the quarterback position? I think maybe we think.
Yeah, he's one of the best players at his position in the league, and can move the pocket, can push the pocket, plays well in the run game as well. But yeah, he can get in the backfield and cause some problems.
Jared, one of your teammates said after Sunday's game that you're going to start getting everybody's best shot now, that they really maybe can make their bones off of you guys. Do you think of that? Does that mean anything to you? Or?
I don't know. I think in the NFL you're always getting a team's best shot, and every week's tough. No matter who you are, who you're playing, what team you're on, they're all tough, and this will be no different.
You've talked about the emotional maturity, I guess, of this roster and the different situations they face. You played for a team that went to the Super Bowl that had high expectations year in and year out. So how is this roster in that regard stacking up to a team that you've seen compete for championships?
I don't know. They're all different. Every team's different. It's too hard to make that comparison. Every team's different, but yeah, I guess early on, yeah, we've got good maturity and have handled success up to this point pretty well, and it's still so early in the season, so a lot of work to do, but yeah, feeling good with where we're at.
What is the key to a good play action fake?
Yeah.
Explain why you guys are so good at it.
Well, it's kind of everybody. It's the O-line, making sure they're coming off the ball, making it look like run. It's myself and the running back getting a good mesh is what we call it, making sure the ball is in his belly and he has a good pocket where it looks like a run. And then, through the fake, kind of, show, snap, shrink is kind of the coaching point for it. And yeah, just show, snap, shrink is what I've been told in the past. It's a coaching point for show, snap, shrink. Yeah, it's a coaching point for it. But I think more than anything is making it look exactly like it does when you do hand it off, whatever that is, whether it's show, snap, shrink, or some other version of your mechanics. But yeah, making it look exactly as if you were handing the ball off is the best way to describe it.
Follow up on that. Is there ever a time where it seemed like there were a couple plays where there was a play action fake, but there actually wasn't a running back there? I mean, is there times you just do it even though there's no one there?
Yeah, well, he's aborting for protection based on the pressure, and yeah, I'll just do it because that's what I'm expecting to do on the play, and he goes the other way to pick up protection responsibility and doesn't get the fake. That happens sometimes.
In that same like Jared, Larry Foote over there was asked about you. He said he compares you to Peyton Manning and Tom Brady just in terms of in terms of the play fake. Just how much of a kind of art form is that? I know Dave asked, and is it on undervalued trait sometimes with quarterbacks? Just how good?
I think I don't know. I think it's just discipline. It's just focusing on it, making it matter. And putting emphasis on it and putting detail on it, and I'm very aware of it, and just like every part of my game, I don't know if it's something that I'm doing more than anything else, but that's a part of my game that I am very aware of, and me and the running backs are constantly trying to do our best to make it look exactly like the run, and yeah, it helps. It helps pull the defenders up and get those plays in behind them.
Can you speak about Demo a little bit? I mean, you guys, anytime you bring in a completely different backfield, you bring risk of obviously not being as productive as well as last year. I guess what have you learned about Demo this year?
Yeah.
Is anything?
He's a stud. He's a stud. He's fit in just perfectly with us and does such a great job every day. And then obviously you guys see him on game day, the stuff he does. But his leadership, his ability both in the run and the pass, his attention to detail and protection, I think is pretty special for a running back. Not all running backs typically care about that. They want the ball, they want to run. He's very adamant on making sure I'm protected and making sure he's doing his responsibility, which is nice to have a guy like back there like that, and it makes me feel good. So he's been doing his thing, and hopefully continue to do it.
Just one other thing on the run action stuff, because I think you were pretty good at it in LA, and maybe implement some of it here. When you were early in your career, what did you have to learn about it? Like, what was difficult? Was there something that maybe you were conscious of getting too close to the running back, or is there something that you've grown, I guess, in a specific area?
Yeah, I think I in high school and college I did almost exclusively shotgun drop back, and coming to the NFL and learning play action, I had to learn how to turn your back to the defense. They're going to move around. They're going to be in a different place when you probably turn your head around. So have an idea of what they're going to be in pre-snap, what coverage they're going to be in, and then when you turn your head around, either confirming that or understanding that you're wrong and finding out what it is very quickly. So yeah, that part of the processing of it was probably the main challenge early on in my career. And as I've gone on, I've got a better grasp of the game, and it's become a little bit more practical every day. That's something that I do is to recognize the coverage. But yeah, that's probably the hardest part early on.
I think one of those sacks were one of those ones where you turned your head to the defense and probably didn't expect the guy
that
to
was
be there when you turned around.
Keeper is what we call it. So I was getting outside the pocket, and they brought a pressure. I should have seen it, and I just didn't.
That's a pre-snap thing.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I should have. I didn't see it. It was on me.
Can you clarify on the play between the legs? Did Colby actually have something to do with it?
No, I don't know. I don't think Colby had anything to do with it. I'll give a shout out. I think Stephen Oliver, one of our assistant coaches here, found it very quickly. I don't know if it was his idea or Ben's idea or somebody else's, but he was the one who had the clip of it, and Colby just happened to be in the clip, so it was good.
We talk a lot about fun, the fun you guys are having, but when you're putting in wrinkles like that,
Yeah.
the reverse flea flicker, what do you want to call it? Is there a joy that comes into that element of the game
Yeah.
planning every week?
Yeah, it makes it fun. I think that's credit to Ben and what he's done. Obviously, 99% of our offense is very focused and detailed, and but here and there he'll throw in something that's just fun and doesn't really have a complete rhyme or reason necessarily, but it's something that we expect to work, and we practice it enough that it does work, and that was one of them. It's just duo is all we ran, the run duo, and on 3rd and 6, are you ever going to run duo? I don't know. You can, but we ran it with a little bit of a wrinkle on it. We're able to pick up the first down based on something we saw in them and certain situations, and yeah, it's fun. It makes it fun. It makes it light. We'll have wrinkles here and there, and it keeps it light. Yeah.
Did you watch it on video at all after?
Yeah.
What'd you think when you saw it?
Thought it looked great. What do you mean? Yeah, it worked perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you think?
I thought I wasn't going to ask you if anything stood out.
Oh no, I thought it was a great snap. Didn't hit my legs. I ran off to the left, and David broke a tackle and got the first down. It worked perfectly.
You missed my play on words.
Oh, did I? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Was I oblivious there? What was it?
Anything stood out?
It's just mine.
My fault.
You're turning red.
It's okay.
I walked up a little bit late, so just
Last one, Dave.
Tampa's defense.
Yeah.
I mean, what sort of problems do they present, both with the
Yeah,
pass rush?
I was saying it, but just well-rounded veteran, have been in the system for quite some time now. Todd Bowles is a hell of a coach. They do a lot of different things. They're very multiple, and they've got a lot of really good players. That combination is always hard, and it'll be a challenge.
Going against Vita Vea this weekend, you saw him once back in 2019. I don't know if you saw him before that, but just what kind of player was he back then? What do you remember from that, and how has he evolved over his time in the league?
Very good back then and very good now. Very strong. I think he's added a couple more moves to his repertoire, but very good player for how big he is and how well he can move is pretty incredible. So it's definitely a big challenge up front.
Is there anything unique about the way he causes problems in the middle?
Just a massive human being making a lot of offensive linemen look like kids, really. He's strong and you can see it.
Just get back to when I ask about getting everybody's best shot, but did they prepare differently for you than they did? Did you notice anything different about the way you guys?
I think a lot of fronts will do, they're not going to stay still. It's something we've noticed even last year is there's going to be a lot of stunts, movement, pressures, because I think they realize that if they stay still, we could have an advantage there. That's the only thing we've really noticed.
And that's been something that's evolved over the last couple of weeks that you've seen more of?
I was just saying it was going back into last year. Teams really started to do a lot more stunts, even run game stunts and stuff like that, because that's where they've had success if they've had any.
What's the biggest challenge in stopping those when you sometimes are going into a week thinking you'll have 5 certain guys and then only 3 of those guys make it out of the game? It just seems like there's been a lot more smaller movements among the offense.
Yeah, I think a big thing that Hank does is just communicate with us and talk about it with going into the week and making sure he prepares not only just the starting 5 but everybody in that room. And he's done a great job at that. And then whoever steps in, we're kind of all on the same page because we've been talking about it in the meeting room all week. So I think that's a big advantage of it. And then just communicating on the field, whether you see something or not, it's just making sure we're all on the same page. That's the biggest thing we can do.
sure
Just one thing a
everything
person.
about him already, but like this is like another tough interior. You had Grady
Yeah.
already. You got Derek Brown
Going
last
through the
week. Just
gauntlet.
like how does Vita kind of compare to those guys? What
Yeah,
does he do
he's really good. Huge player, like big man, strong man, and can, for how big he is, can move really well. So it's definitely going to be a big challenge. He's playing at a really good rate right now, so it'll be a tough challenge for sure.
Just one thing on a personal note for you. What's it like to be in a playoff run finally? I mean, in your career here in Detroit.
Oh, I'm just taking her one day at a time. I don't want to get ahead of myself. What are we, 5 games in? So
That's plenty.
yeah, just taking her one day at a time. But it's awesome. It's awesome being on a roll. It's even the fans at Fort. Everything's just been so cool, and it's been fun to experience for sure.
Hey, Frank, on that note, you've been through some lows here. What has this season been like for you to enter games expecting to win? It seems like for the first time, and maybe chasing something real.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's fun seeing a defense play like that too. It's been incredible seeing that, and then just when we get rolling, the momentum that we can play off with our playing complementary football. It's been a lot of fun.
This might sound ridiculous. What's it like running through the tunnel these days? You know, the crowd's going bananas.
It's great. It's cool to hear at packed Ford Field. I'd put it up against anybody.
What do you make of Aiden's growth in his second year? I think he's leading the NFL in pressures right now. You know, what have you seen from him?
He's a really good player, man. Kind of saw it from day one, and I think the biggest compliment I can give to Aiden is he doesn't get much plays off, and you can see that guy's going full speed every single play, and that's the biggest compliment I can give to him. He's playing at a great rate, and the fact that he's playing most of those snaps and playing 100% every one of those snaps, it's pretty dang impressive.
Hey, how about the commish? What makes him worthy of being on that T-shirt, and what has he meant? What has he meant to this defense this season?
He gave me the T-shirt, so he's worthy. I think John Kaminsky's extremely underrated. I think he sets up a lot of things for our defensive line that a lot of people don't notice, and also when he's one-on-one with a guy, he can win a lot of reps. So I think he's super underrated for what we do on defense.
Passes out to the whole team or just you?
I'm not quite sure, but I got one.
What's the offense feeling like, the offensive line, when Craig Reynolds is in there at the end? Were you aware that he hadn't scored a touchdown yet? And what's that feel like once he got in the end zone?
Wasn't aware, but it was pretty dang cool. I honestly didn't know until later, but just any one of those running backs, they're going to tote that thing. And we as an offensive lineman kind of have the same approach with no matter who's in the game.